Hi gamers and developers, and welcome to another GDT vlog. I'm your host, Maria Gomes. Behind the camera is Pedro Godin. And today we're going to talk about Game Maker's Toolkit Jam. We have two teams to present today, and we'll show both games that they made. For today's team presentation, we're going to talk a bit about the theme. The theme was Roll the Dice, and this team, that will be represented by Carlos, made the game Rigged Roll. So, hello.
Hello.
This team member is Carlos Marques, like I said. And what did you do?
I basically coded a lot of the game. I focused mostly on the dice, making sure the probability is always added to 1, which was a nightmare I stayed up till 5 a.m. working on. And I mostly did the UI in the game, the coding.
Okay.
And I learned way more about Unity toggles than I wanted to.
Okay. So programming and a little bit of UI design and stuff like that. We'll put the rest of the team members on the screen so you can see what the other
I'm the only
members
one
did.
unlucky not to go on vacation.
It happens. Well, I'm gonna ask you, how many gems did you participate before this one?
Good question. I lost track.
Okay.
I'm probably in the double digits by now.
So
or
a
close
lot
to
of
it.
a lot of gems. Okay, so Carlos is a member of GDT, so he has been here for a while. How many years? Do
I've
you
been
know?
here about 2 years. I started, 2021, like February.
Okay, and did you start developing the gems when you entered on GDT or before you?
No, before I started my masters, I did a game over like August or the summer,
Okay.
which was my first. I had tried Unity before, and never really worked out. Then I did this game, and it also kind of stuck, but at least I finished it.
Okay.
And then I started my masters, and I had a game design course, so we started working on a game which was Isolation Thief, which is pretty cool actually. I'm so proud of that game. It's one of my early ones, and it's one of my best ones. It's kind of shocking. And then I joined GameDev Técnico and just started going to like a jam each month.
Okay, so you can say that your productivity in game jams definitely rising up with GDT.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the most prolific jammer. I was. When my thesis started, I kind of slowed down. But I was one of my prolific jammers. I probably shouldn't have jammed as much and should have focused on my grades, but whatever. I passed. No one cares about grades on your masters.
Well, I guess that's a good and a bad thing about being so focused on developing games. But you passed, like you said. So if you're happy, we're happy. So about the game itself, can you tell me how did you come up with the idea?
So basically, we have this member of our team called Guilherme. Guilherme played too much Vampire Survivor.
Okay.
I relate to him because after the jam, I bought Vampire Survivor. I played it for 60 hours and got all the Steve achievements.
Okay.
So I get it. And it was basically he wanted to do like a reverse bullet hell in his idea, which was you're the bullet hell, so you shoot a lot of bullets. And so it kind of evolved into, okay, you shoot dice, and so depending on where the dice land when you hit an enemy, the side gives a different buff. And so we took that idea and we just started building on top of it. We had our ideas and we decided against them for feasibility, or one that was actually kind of interesting was one I pitched, which was a puzzle game, which basically it was a screen full of dice and you can roll them on 4 directions and you try to line up dice to make combos and such. But we decided not to go for that because art-wise it wasn't very interesting, so our artists
Okay, I get
would
it.
have been.
So you talked about how you incorporated the theme in the jam. Did you come up with the theme first and then the game? So how did you do the order? You first thought about the game you wanted to make and then you incorporated the theme into it?
We basically had a brainstorming document because we couldn't start meeting right away at the time the jam started, and we started putting ideas. So we had an idea which was, I kind of resuscitated from an old pitch I had, which was like a tactics game, like an RPG because we immediately thought of RPGs when it was
Yeah.
rolling dice,
Yeah.
and we decided, okay, it's not happening in the weekend. Is like a range type of game where basically it was all about rolling dice, and you ended up, I think, going to heaven or hell depending on the rolls. And we had a lot of ideas like that. And then Guilherme just started putting like a gigantic pitch for Vampire
Okay.
Survivor like game that had like 1,000 mechanics, and it's like,
Sure, we can do that.
and it's like, no, trim that down,
Trim
please.
that down. Okay. Okay.
And so we broke it down to like the bare minimum, so we could do
Yeah.
it in a weekend.
Okay, so you mentioned it, but this gem, the interesting thing about this gem is that it's developed in 48 hours. So one of the questions that I have for you is, what was your strategy to develop the game in 48 hours? Because it's so little time. You have to have a strategy to
We didn't
finish the game.
really plan it out. Just let's keep it small and let's just keep doing it.
Okay.
Also, it was 50 hours plus like an extra half hour because each .io
Each
crashed.
IO, yeah,
Like
went
I
down.
knew it was gonna happen.
Okay.
I was cheering for
So,
it.
so you had the list of things you wanted to do, and you started doing them. And if you could you do it.
Yeah,
and
it was
like-
basically
like
kind
that.
of that.
Okay.
So it reached a point where, yeah, everyone just kind of had their task and we were progressing. So I started off with the dice. As soon
Mhm.
as I was done with the dice, I started doing the UI because no one was doing the UI.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I hate this, but I'm also the one who can do it better because I'm the
Yeah.
only one.
Sometimes we have to do things. We
I'm
don't
always
want.
that guy that ends up with UI.
Yeah.
When we had the Rhythm GM, which was every rhyme matters, the entire game was on the UI.
Yeah.
It was on a canvas. So that's when I became the UI master.
Okay. Okay, but that's a good thing because UI is always important, even though not everyone notices the UI. It's very
Yeah.
important. But talking about the gem itself, what did you actually learn throughout the gem when you were programming this game?
Like I said, I learned too much about Unity toggles.
Mhm.
Those were a pain in the ass. I just wanted to make a skill tree, and there were weird bugs, and we compromised basically. Instead of showing all the upgrades, it only shows like the ones you can buy, and it's kind of weird because the toggles were not
Okay,
cooperating.
so you never used the toggles before.
No, just like buttons and such.
And like you said, you have been programming games for about 2 years and a half, right? And you've always used Unity?
Yes. Right now I'm using Unreal on a project, so I'm
Okay.
learning that. But before that, only Unity, and I only used GameMaker because there was that summer at U Lisbon
Mm-hmm.
here, and I had to teach kids GameMaker.
Okay, so yeah, you had about 2 years and a half experience of Unity, and you're still learning stuff about
Yes.
Unity.
But
that's
yeah,
good.
the biggest challenge was the dice. So because we haven't really explained the game, each time you get experience from drop some enemies, and each time you level up, you can increase or decrease the probability of one of the sides of the dice. So let's say one of the buffs is multi bullets. You shoot 3 bullets. You can keep increasing that, so you get more of that and less of those. Thing is, so when you increase one of the sides, you have to decrease the others. That's simple. You just get what you're decreasing and divide it among 5. Imagine though some of the sides already at 0 or some of the sides already at 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nightmare. That's why I
Okay.
stayed up until 5 a.m. working out that, okay, I'm gonna have to do a wild circle so I can like evenly spread this across, and if it's not at 100% the entire dice, I have to respread it
Okay.
and just keep doing that until everything is nice and dandy. I had to break out all the maths, which I hate.
And was it worth it?
It worked, so
Okay, so it was worth it.
I guess we ended up rebalancing the experience, so it was a lot harder to get. So I think those like edge cases where you're already leveled up one side a lot don't really happen as much. We didn't really beat our game. Our ending of the game, which is if you make it to 100 waves, is like a joke about how you're probably the first person to see it. We had a
Yeah.
colleague at GDT, which is Guilherme, and he made it like wave 60 or something, and
Yeah,
we have no idea how he did it.
I played a bit of your game, but I'm not very good at it.
We
So
we need to do a balance patch.
okay, yeah, it happens.
That was my problem with the theme of this game, which is like a lot of randomness and that takes a lot of balancing, and that's
Yeah.
hard to do on
And
a
it's
jam.
48 hours, so it's
Same.
comprehensible. So knowing that, what did you wish you knew before entering the jam and before the jam and before making the game?
It's kind of hard to say because there was not like one thing that went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a bunch of things that were kind of hard.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't have like giant scripts. Like I remember the time jam. We ended up doing a Metroidvania. We were going to like rewind mechanics and freeze time and everything. When we were using this API, and like halfway to the jam, I found out, oh, this API only works if you move things with the rigid body. Oh, this thing is useless because we didn't do anything with the rigid body. And applying velocity, it's very much different from changing the velocity or the rigid body position. So
Mhm.
we just had to cut features.
Yeah.
And by the end, we had a gigantic bug with the rewind feature. And I knew the cause, but I didn't mess with that thing by the end. And the person who did had to go on vacation. So I was a lot less saying, like, I can fix this bug. I know what's causing it, but I don't understand this code at all.
So the thing with this game was that not that the things you decided to do were things you didn't know how to do, but they were hard to do.
Yeah, like I said, the dice. Okay, I did the dice. Okay, it's done. It was fast.
Okay.
And then I find out a problem. Okay, I just have to clamp
So
the
you
values.
spend a lot of time resolving
then,
bugs
yeah,
and
oh, even though I clamped the values, it's like going over 100%. Okay, it's time to fix this, and I break out a sheet of paper and just start doing. Okay, so if I have the dice is like this, and I had like this percent, what needs to happen? Just trying to figure out what the code would be like.
So would you have changed anything about the game that you did? Some mechanics, something that you found that it was too hard and not worth it?
I would have told Guillermo, okay, we need more experience. I know you like Vampire Survivor, but we need to have more experience points, and we probably the skill tree is cool, but it was such a huge amount of work. It was the last thing done. We were like adding sprites and UI to it at the last minute, and we sacrificed balancing for it. Like our plan was by the end of Saturday, okay, we're gonna have the prototype and we're gonna play it and just more stuff. And kept doing it. We never had a prototype or play testing really.
Yeah.
We had Fabio come in and give his thoughts.
And and play test a little bit. So I have an interesting question, especially for this team, because I'm gonna ask you what was missing in your team. That I knew you kind of solved it yourselves, but
I don't know. Like we only had one artist. It was four
Yeah.
programmers and one artist. So Guilherme, which was one of our programmers, he did some of the art of the game, like UI stuff, and it fit the style.
yeah.
Like he's not a terrible artist. The only game I ever did art was like my first GDT game jam, which was a game called Rapture, which also turned out kind of terrible. we overscoped that game so much, and Pietro was there. You can tell you. Maybe one day I'll go back and fix that game.
Yeah, I think we mentioned in the previous vlog we did that it's normal for game developers to fail at a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
it always
times.
goes terrible.
It always goes terrible until one game in
When I
particular
did
doesn't go terrible.
I did the Metroidvania jam, the last one I did, and half the team was newbies, and it was a month-long jam, and I just told them, this might come out terrible. Don't feel bad. It did come out terrible.
Yeah.
Mostly because our artists didn't have as much time as they could, and the newbies were kind of struggling with Unity and all. I don't know. I signed up for the next Metroidvania jam,
Yeah.
so third time's the charm. I'm making a
Okay.
Metroidvania that isn't garbage.
Now it's gonna not go wrong. Okay,
But
so
I hope.
I know that you had one person come out from the GDT, so it didn't belong to your team, right? You had a sound designer, if I'm not
No,
mistaken.
basically we have one of the newbies going to recruitment
Mhm.
right now, which was Nuno Ribeiro, and we basically at the end of Saturday we were like, we need music for our game,
Yeah.
and we could just use some stock music. You always use that a lot for jams. Just go.
Mhm.
I have like packs of music that I like using, but we posted on our looking for group chat, which we have for finding people for jams and all. Hey, is there anyone who could do music? And he replied, and we kind of showed him the game, and he was kind of hands off, but he'll deliver the music.
Okay.
And I just kind of took 15 minutes. Okay, I listened to the tracks. I like this one. It's good
Yeah.
in the game, and then that was it. But
So-
the music in the game was really good.
So, like I said, you kind of solved your own problem, because I don't think there's many people who think of that you have a team, you can ask members of GDT to help you with something. You don't have to be restricted to that team. So, well, congratulations on the innovative thinking in asking help of
we
others.
could have also like bought music if you wanted.
Yeah.
We have resources for. Well,
But
it was. What was the jam? There was one jam where we basically bought this great software which is tile setter, which is that you take 2 images and it returns a Unity tile
Yeah.
map with the rules and everything.
But I'm glad you has asked help of members or newbies of GDT, because we have those available. And, well, it's always nice to see people cooperating, even though it's not their job. So, yeah, that was creative thinking. About the jam, but what was the best moments during the jam? Did you have any?
When I started
high
playtesting the
moments?
game and just I didn't stop playing the game, I was having fun.
Okay.
Which usually you're just like in that grind. You're like, okay, I found the bug, stop playing, gonna
Yeah,
go
and you
fix.
solved the
Well,
bug.
but like the game was addicting,
Okay. So
and
that's
so we
nice.
knew, okay, we had something here that was good.
Yeah. And
And when we finish the game, usually our games have a lot of like bugs and all. The biggest bug I found in our game was that when you toggle over the upgrades to see what the text says, there was left over basically a lorem ipsum I left there to test
oh,
out the
okay.
text. When you hover
That happens.
when you hover of the upgrade, the right text happens. But when you open that screen, it's a lorem ipsum. But otherwise, it's like, oh, the game is polished and works.
Well, now that I know that, I'm definitely gonna show it in the vlog.
Okay.
Can I? Okay, so
The voting period is over. I can just go patch it. It will take me 5 minutes.
but that is if I haven't made the video of the game yet. No,
It's probably
I'm joking. It's
Maybe
fine.
I made a YouTube video for it, so we could have it on the jam page, so it might be done already.
Okay.
If you go by frame, you might detect it.
Okay. So in that segment, what was the worst times during the jam? Did you have any low moments?
Not really. I think my lowest moment was staying up until 5 a.m. Doing probability maths
Yeah.
to fix the dice.
I
That
think-
was it. The only other frustrations was like, okay, this person is not yet available.
So you crunched a little bit.
I quench because I am an idiot. The rest of
Okay.
the team didn't crunch.
Okay. So you decided to crunch yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
I was like,
So-
I don't mind screwing up my schedule. It's already
Okay.
screwed.
So it was not a worst moment. Okay, so that's good. You had high moments and not much low moments. So I have a question for you in particular. What was about this jam, or was this jam any different from all the other jams that you were in?
It went smoother. It was probably the smoothest jam I had. It wasn't like there was stuff that was like last minute, but it's not. Oh no, the game's on fire. It's more like, oh no, we're missing some sprites.
Oh, okay. So you're happy about developing this game? This game was
Yes, it was one of my favorite jams so far, and one of my favorite end products.
Okay, that's great. That's awesome to hear. And I have a final question for you. That do you want to keep developing this game?
We might go back, like polish it a bit, and add
Mhm.
some. The game needs balancing. No other way around. So we gotta need balance that game. But I think like it works as a game jam game. It's not like something that we could take into our own Vampire Survivor.
And extend. Okay. So
I think it's like, okay, it's a small concept, and I think it's fun.
okay, that's great actually. So only developing, no, solving a little bit of the bugs that you left and balancing. That sounds great actually. So well, thank you for coming. And thank you for having this interview, and thank you for watching back at home. Remember to keep updated on our vlogs, and remember to check all of our social medias. We'll put it down below. And well, thank you guys, thank you developers, thank you gamers for watching this, and until the next vlog. Bye.